And good morning. Steve, right off the rip. Hey, anybody watch the new Project Veritas? Yes, it was a poor edit. I understand the problem they had. The woman says, the woman just says the one really interesting thing, so they used it over and over and over again. But that's not what we're talking about today. It is Taco Tuesday, and
hey, when Taco Tuesday was originally conceived, it was conceived to talk about issues at the border.
In particular, in fact, it was originally conceived right at the beginning of the Donald Trump administration to talk about how Donald Trump's border policies and immigration policies
were awesome,
were incredibly effective, and it was one of those things where we were going to get tired of winning. I'm still not tired. I still enjoy the winning.
And we're currently not winning.
Yeah.
So you can't get tired of that.
Maybe I could have gotten tired of winning if we had an election.
A fortified...
Hey, Georgia Constitution Media's with us. Brother, we need to get together sometime soon. Actually, I'm free Thursday. Anyway.
Funny story.
But
that's also not what we're talking about today.
Damn you, Don Jr.! Okay, funny story. I had a thing that I was going to do Thursday, and I won't go into what that thing is, but this is not the first time that I was supposed to be doing a thing, meeting with somebody high level, somebody important in politics, and it got rescheduled because Don Jr. flew into town to meet with the same person. Just happened to be my lunch that got rescheduled. Now, I get it. He's got a big pile of money. He's younger and prettier than I am. Whatever. But, damn it.
And his dad's the president. Or one of the presidents. That helps.
Yeah. Donnie Two Scoops.
I'm sure if your dad was president, you'd get a couple of little...
Well, I'm sure there'd be a perk or two. Or if he just had $11 billion. Speaking of 11s, let's talk about what happened.
That's a segue.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
It pains me to even Hey, Jen. Okay. Little more housekeeping. Jen, sorry I missed your call. I saw that you called yesterday. I apologize. I skipped my nap yesterday, so by the time you called around 9, I was already in bed. I saw that I missed your call at about 1:30 this morning when I got up and started doing... Yeah, actually I was cleaning. But anyway. So, dude, I'll be free after the show if you want to give me a call then. Love you. Let's talk about this. Got this from the Daily Mail. We'll go with this one.
Sure.
The situation is out of control. Drone footage shows 8,000 illegal migrants waiting to be processed under Del Rio Bridge, double the number that arrived yesterday. I need to point out, this is from the 16th, which is last Thursday. By Friday morning, Fox News was showing drone footage, and the number had increased even more. The last reports that I'm seeing on this situation is somewhere between 11 and 13,000 criminal aliens. Okay, so I'm going to go down this rabbit hole one more time. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, but it bears repeating because it must not be forgotten. When they say undocumented workers, they're trying to soften the language to distract you from what the real problem, from what the problem really is. When they say illegal immigrant, they are softening the language to distract you from what the actual problem is. I've heard the liberals that want to open the border and all this crap say, well, a person can't be illegal. You're right. You're absolutely right. A person cannot be illegal. Actions are illegal. Crimes are defined as malicious actions. One of the first rules you learn in law school is crime is harm. If you can show the harm, then you can show that there's been a crime. No harm, no crime. Right? No body, no murder. No harm, no crime. In everything that is legislated as a crime. For example, to take it away from the actual harm where you can show a victim, things like controlled substances, the argument that's made by the lawyers to keep controlled substances illegal is that the harm is done to society at large because the substance makes you a lesser person, a less valuable member of the collective, and that's where the harm resides, which is a fallacious argument, but it goes to my point that harm is part of the crime. So the libs like to say a person can't be illegal. You're right, a person cannot be illegal. Actions are illegal. Actions like crossing a border without authorization into a sovereign nation, that is an illegal action. And what happens to a person when they conduct an illegal action? The person does not become illegal. The person becomes a criminal. Now, when you call them criminal immigrants or criminal aliens, you're still softening the issue, because the crime that we're talking about is the violation of a sovereign national border by the citizens of a foreign state. That is a very specific and explicit thing. So for all you shitburgers out there who want to talk about an insurrection that lasted less than 4 hours because you don't know what words mean, let's be very clear. Words have meanings, and the meanings of those words are incredibly important. What you see huddled under that bridge, what you see huddled under this bridge, these are not illegal immigrants. Immigration is a legal process. There is no such thing as immigrating illegally, because immigration is a process of the law. These are hostile foreign invaders. What they are doing is an act of war and should be treated as such. The correct answer here is not to apprehend and deport these people. The correct answer here is to mow them down.
Well, they're from Haiti, right?
Yes.
They could just be coming looking for the Clintons because, Clintons, Haiti, and all that weirdness.
Are the words that are trying to get out of your mouth, "Where's my money, bitch"?
Something like that, yeah.
But these are not, that language is important. It's not illegal immigrants. They're hostile foreign invaders. These are the citizens of a hostile nation. And so a little backstory, a little backdrop on, or actually the article gets into it, so I'll just read the article down through here. Did I go past the article? Okay. Haiti is in the midst of a humanitarian crisis after a magnitude 7.2 earthquake on August 14th, which killed more than 2,200 people and damaged or destroyed more than 100,000 homes. So that's part of why the migration thing is happening. The island is also being racked by fresh political instability caused by the assassination of its former president, Jovenel
Moise
in June. Moist. In June. Guys, politics outside of this country is a very different creature. With the island's Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, since named as a suspect in the investigation. Officials reported that there are more than 4,000 migrants waiting under the bridge to be processed on Wednesday, but by Thursday morning that number surged to some 8,200, right? And then by Friday morning it was over 11,000. So we've got Bill Milligan. So this is from the Fox News guys, right? Law enforcement source on the ground at the bridge this morning just sent me this video showing the situation there. I'm told a large majority of the migrants are Haitians and more are crossing into the U.S. and arriving at the bridge by the minute. Our drone is back over the international bridge, and we're going to get to this in just a minute, in Del Rio, Texas. Per source, the number of migrants waiting to be processed has now swelled to approximately 8,200. And again, this is a little bit older. This is from last Thursday. BP Border Patrol overwhelmed, and I'm told situation is out of control.
You think?
Yeah. We already read that one. That one says 7,000 migrants. That's for probably Tuesday or Wednesday morning.
Hey, while you're scrolling, I'd like to ask a question. I mean this seriously, but I also mean it rhetorically.
Okay.
Haiti's an island, right?
It is. Isn't that interesting?
And it's not like an island like Cuba, where conceivably, like, you could build a raft out of, like, old milk bottles and leftover Chevrolet parts and float to Florida. Like, Haiti's an island, right? Yeah. How did they end up in South Texas?
Well, they came through Mexico.
Okay.
And they got to Mexico like this.
Like that. That's impressive.
It actually is. I suspect that there were quite a few that didn't make the trip. And I don't mean they chose not to make the trip. Hey, look, it's the shitbird.
As in they started to make the trip and did not successfully complete it?
His butt's been wiped. And God, I do feel bad for these guys. I do. But, I mean...
Why does Mexico not apprehend them? If we went to Mexico illegally, we would get a 6-month tour of Mexico's...
Mexico is not our friend. Mexican politicians run for election on the promises that they will make it easier for you to go to America.
Okay, and I get that, but...
They actively incentivize.
Yeah, the fewer mouths to feed and all the corruption, and they're basically a narco state with...
Well, it's not just all that. Every Mexican citizen that the Mexican government can incentivize to cross into the United States, they have a habit of sending money back to their family in Mexico.
Yeah, but
which means
these guys are not going to do that.
That's true. But these guys are going to overwhelm border security and prevent our border agents from preventing anybody else from entering illegally. So it is in Mexico's interest for our border agents to be overwhelmed. And look, it makes it easier to get drugs into the country. It makes it easier to get criminal aliens into the country.
Okay, so we should legalize drugs.
Agreed.
And we should have a transparent immigration system.
I would say a minefield, but...
It can be both. The legal process can be transparent, and there can be a minefield on the border.
Hey, Megan's with us. Good morning, sunshine.
Oh, it's always nice to have some extra pretty in the chat.
Indeed.
So, yeah, well, okay, and then just one other thing. I know this is cruel, but, I mean, not to you, but to your dumbass libs or whatever. If you could figure out how to build one of these boats and put 100 people on it and it not capsize and you actually get it to sail and go places... I realize earthquakes suck. I really do. I played SimCity. Earthquakes suck.
I slept through an earthquake in California one time. I had no idea.
But take this same ingenuity and, I don't know, rebuild your villages?
Or build them. I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair. These people live in squalor. Even before the earthquake.
Right.
They live in a third world country.
Yes.
Because they can't do better for themselves. Or they refuse to do better for themselves.
It's probably closer to refuse because, I mean, again, I point out this level of ingenuity and the level of sacrifice that's required. You know how fucking miserable it's got to be on that boat? Like, there's no such thing.
Exactly how miserable it is on that boat.
There's no such thing as pissing in private there.
Oh, that's not so much a problem. But,
I mean,
but it's not a problem that there's no such thing as pissing in private. You're correct. There is no pissing in private. But, I mean... Hey, let me by. I'm going to piss off the side of the boat. You know, or down the back of your pants. Your choice. I don't really care.
Okay. Okay, I let you piss now.
So, the other thing that we want to talk about related to this, he mentioned in his tweet, the law enforcement source, our drone is back over the international bridge in Del Rio. And by the way, Cameron asked me this question, and it's a fair question. How big a damn bridge is this? This is an international bridge. This bridge, this Del Rio bridge, this goes... There's a good picture of it. This bridge actually crosses the national border. Right? The bridge itself goes from America to Mexico.
I mean, I realize they say the Border Patrol's overwhelmed, but how hard would it be to just... I mean, there's already a natural funnel. You just push them back over.
You know what? I'm gonna borrow that segue for a minute and just... Let's just talk about how much I want to be a border agent right now. On horseback, chasing Haitians with a lasso. I saw some reports where they were saying, you see these guys whipping these people? They're not whipping them. It's a lasso. Oh, they're straight doing a roundup on some Haitians. And, yes, please.
Yeah.
The problem with deportation at this point is just the logistics of deporting so many people.
See, I always have found that to be a fallacious argument. I remember, I don't know, I think it was Jeb who said in the 2016 run-up to the election that was like, well, what are we going to do? Rent out 10,000 buses and just pack everybody in them and drive them to the border? And I was like, yeah?
Yes. It would be cheaper than having them here.
Yes. We're just going to send 50,000 people a month back?
Yep.
Yeah?
100%.
I feel like you're giving me solutions, not problems.
And I'm not saying that your argument's wrong. What I'm saying is that because of the sheer number, it's not like we can deport them all simultaneously. It's a protracted process. Deporting them, getting rid of all of the problems, will take time. But it will take more time the longer we wait to do it.
Well, and Donald Trump proved that the deterrent is effective.
100%, absolutely.
I mean, like Joe Biden got sworn in, and a week later there was guys down at the border going, "Oh yeah, we're totally crossing the border because Joe Biden's president."
Well, and I mean, Joe Biden explicitly demanded, you need to surge the border. All of you need to surge the border. He actively incentivized this, right? This isn't just a result of Biden's failed policies. Biden asked for this intentionally. And then we're going to close on this. So related to the same thing, the FAA grounds Fox News drones near where thousands of migrants are sheltering under a bridge. So Fox News had some drones flying over to get the footage, to get the images of these images. This is drone footage, right? This is a drone photo. And they're tweeting that out with the appropriate data, the map data, to show where everything is. We've learned that the FAA just implemented a 2-week TFR, temporary flight restrictions, over the international bridge in Del Rio, Texas, meaning we can no longer fly our Fox drone over it to show images of the thousands of migrants. FAA says special security reason. Okay. So,
very special.
Right? So it has long been held that the First Amendment is not entirely absolute. There are, and I disagree with this, but under the law, there are reasonable restrictions to your right to speech, press, assembly, religion, and petition for redress of grievances. Now, what has also been held, and GCM, you'll be smart on this too, is that those reasonable restrictions, and I cannot think of a single case, and I've read a lot of them, I cannot think of a single case where it is argued that the reasonable restrictions may exist. However, the reasonable restriction must be content neutral, which is to say that you cannot allow, you can't let BLM have a protest in a park, and then say that this conservative group cannot have their protest in the same park. If you want to say this location is off limits to protesters, bar none, then that's one thing, and there are some legal sticky problems with that too. But it can be argued based on the question of reasonable restriction. But that you allow, for example, you allow BLM to paint giant murals and even fund it and send police to protect them across the streets in New York. And then you have people arrested for vandalism when they try to paint...
Black people arrested for vandalism. Yeah.
When they try to paint a similar...
or just tried to paint
slogan.
over it.
Right. Trying to paint over the BLM banner, or when they painted... they tried to paint... I think it was a... It wasn't Patriot Prayer. It was one of the right-wing groups went and painted another street, and they were all arrested for vandalism. That is clearly not content-neutral censorship. That is clearly content-explicit censorship, as is this. This is a clear case of what's happening is the Biden administration is weaponizing another federal agency against your rights, against the people of the United States of America. Okay, for a government employee, for an official of the United States of America to conduct an act of war, which is to weaponize the agencies of the American government against the liberty of the people of the United States of America, guys, that Biden has not been impeached is horrifying. That the articles have not even been brought to a vote tells me that not one single currently elected official in the House or Senate of the United States of America, not one, deserves your vote. Ever again.
It tells me that Kamala Harris needs to get busy. Because she would be the president if Joe were impeached. She needs to incentivize people.
You think she could suck a heart attack out of him?
I mean, she sucked a district attorney position out of the... This reminds me of... was it back in February when...
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the first female president of the United States of America, the Honorable President Spit Roast!
Oh, yes, she's female and she's a POC and somehow did not receive a single vote in the electoral process.
Yeah, not
in the
one,
primary, that's
not
it.
Not one single vote in the primary for the first POS for president.
But that's not a rigged system at all. No, but it reminds me, I think it was back in February when Ted Cruz went down to the border and actually went inside the migrant facilities and... You remember, like, the kids were all crammed together?
Yes.
And he's filming with, like, his iPhone, and the woman keeps stepping in front of him and said, well, we're worried about their dignity. We're worried about their dignity. Oh, really? That's...
I'm glad you mentioned that. Because I made a YouTube short on our channel out of that. And keep talking. I'm going to try to find it real quick, because in that YouTube short, I talked about prior restraint, which is an important piece of that issue.
Well, unfortunately, I kind of reached the end. I'm just saying, yeah, it's what it reminds me of, the way the government's trying to censor the information and they're using emotions against you, and I mean, it's not surprising, but it is in fact factual. See, this is all my fault, y'all. I rabbit holed him.
Yep.
By referencing.
Okay, there's early voting, so it's after that.
Uh-huh.
Because we're talking about stuff happening in Biden's migrant facility. So we're talking doop. Son of a bitch. If I can't find it pretty quick, I'll give up.
Okay. This has got to be riveting content for our...
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This would have been... I should have planned to have this available for today because it would have been a really solid piece of today's show, and I'm just gonna have to give it up now. All right, maybe next time.
Well, at least I remembered it and mentioned it.
You did.
That's something.
I think it was around the same time we talked. We had the fantastic thumbnail of Joe Biden eating the burrito child. It may have even been a snippet from that video. But I think that's about all I've got for this morning. We're running up on time, so
yeah.
Let's I guess we call it a day right there. Y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.